Good morning and welcome to Mimosas in the Morning. I'm Leslie.
And I'm Holly.
And we are having a few technical difficulties today, so we are running late. And we're on Holly's page because, well, you gotta improvise. That's life for meal spouses. You improvise.
And I have to have a little fun. So today, though, we're interviewing Miss Brittany. She is the author of Discovering Your Spark. And I'm going to kind of like stop there for a minute because we got to sparkle, right? So I told Leslie, here's our little surprise.
Oh, Lordy, I'm scared.
Yep. It's coming, or it should come.
Or not.
Or not. Maybe not. There we go.
Okay. Mine is not working yet. There we go. Oh, geez.
And I have a song with it. You ready for your song?
I'm ready.
Because we both have girls. So you should know this song very well.
I said I know this one. We're good.
Right? Do you like that, Brittany? Do you know that song?
I love it, and I know it, and I have a little girl that listens to it, and I have my sparkle. Can you see my eyes?
Very nice.
I've got it.
Well, I even have today for us Bedazzled, the champagne bottle.
Oh, look at you, Holly.
So I will bring this with me when I see you in DC because it does have confetti inside, and we'll blow it up and sparkle together. Okay. So tell us, Brittany. Give me all the details about this book, why you wrote a book, how did it come about, all the things you're doing with this book, because it's amazing things that she's doing.
So
the mic is yours.
Well, thank you so much. And just so everybody knows, I am in my car doing this. Technical difficulties were crazy this morning. The internet at home stopped working. And so I had to get in my car to drive to get actual signal for my cell phone. But I was like, I'm not missing this interview this morning with you guys. So I'm so excited to be on. But the book, so Discovering Your Spark, Find Your Color in a Camouflage World, came about after my year as the 2017 Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year. And I had an opportunity to travel the nation speaking with military spouses. But honestly, what happened is I listened to military spouses. I listened to what they were saying and hearing the concerns that they were having. And it didn't matter if you were an enlisted spouse or an officer spouse, if you lived in a remote location, or if you were in, the heart of DC, the same concerns were coming up when I would talk to military spouses. And so I really journaled about it for about 6 months and started trying to find what was the continuity between what military spouses were saying. And what I came to the conclusion of is that military spouses were really struggling with identity, and they were struggling with their own identity. They were struggling with living their life with passion and purpose because they were so wrapped up in living for the military, for the next move, for the next deployment, for the swing shift, for being in a location that maybe was very challenging for them. And so I have made it my passion and my purpose to work with military spouses, to get out in the community and talk to them and say, it's okay. It's okay for you to do for you. It's okay to put yourself first. And it is okay to take every challenge and turn it into an opportunity to make an I can't and I can. And I want to empower every military spouse who says, I can't do something, to say, I can do it. And it might just look a little different than I thought it was going to look like before. And so that's what the book's about. That's how it came about. I've had a lot of help. It was military spouses sharing their journey with me, sharing their story with me. A very dear friend, Molly Bennett, she is the creator behind the design of the book and all the graphics. I couldn't do that without her. And so this is really a passion project of a lot of military spouses coming together to make it happen.
That's awesome.
That is great. So after doing this, so what are some of your tips for those, some things from your book that our viewers can take away from that, before reading and help bring them into what's important about why they need to read your book?
So one of the good things that I tell military spouses is more important is the why. Like, when you think about what you wanted to do or what you wanted to be before you became a military spouse, whatever that word or title is, that's not as important as the why behind it. So if you wanted to be a nurse, why did you want to be a nurse? If you wanted to be a teacher, why did you want to be a teacher? If you wanted to be just content, if you were like, I just want to be content, that's what I want to be when I grow up, which is kind of what I wanted to be when I grow up. Why do you want to be content, or how can you be content? So knowing that and journaling about that and recognizing what those characteristics are will help you figure out, are you living any of that today? And maybe the title or the role is different than what you thought it was going to be, but maybe you are not a teacher today and you're not being paid as a teacher, but are you volunteering in the community? Are you working with Girl Scout troops or Boy Scouts? Are you participating in your child's life? You're teaching. It just looks different than what you were doing. So understanding that. And then one of the other big things that I like military spouses to do is write down your daily schedule. Like, get a journal, write down what you do during the day. And then I want you to circle of that day, what do you do for yourself? And a lot of times military spouses will write their list down of what they do during the day, and there's nothing on that day that they do for themselves. And
I feel that.
But I do know that journal turns into a big old book.
Yeah, that's the
You
first
do so
part.
much, and it just has chapter after chapter.
I know, and that's the first part. And the second part of that schedule is then circle everything that you do during the day that you are passionate about. And a lot of times when we visually look at the paper and we see that there is 0 to maybe 1 thing in your day that you're actually doing for yourself or that you're passionate about, it helps you understand that you need to minimize and maximize certain things in your day. What can you do to achieve passion and purpose? Because at the end of the day, it's us. Like, we're the ones standing in our ways. Nobody else is. There is no challenge, no mountain big enough that we cannot go over, around, under, or through. We can do it. And we just have to put our mind to it and be ready to do it. Like, we have to do it. And so when you put it on paper and you visualize it, it makes it so much easier to realize, like, where you are, like, right now in your life. Like, where are you planted right now? So those are takeaways that I would say go ahead and start doing. If you haven't come to my workshop and you haven't read the book or seen the workbook, get a journal and start with those 2 things.
And tell us about what you're actually doing. When you say, if you haven't been to one of your events where you're a speaker, because she's also a wonderful speaker, tell us about that, because this is really amazing. This is like, I think, where I say heaven gates open up and say, woo, Brittany.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, thank you. So right now, I have partnered with the USO World Organization, and we're doing workshops at USO centers across the nation. Next month, we're going to be in San Antonio and El Paso doing Discovering Your Spark workshops. And then we haven't planned out the rest of the year where we're going, but the hope is that we will continue the tour throughout the year around the nation. And then I'm also going to be implementing weekly lives on my Facebook page. And that's Discovering Your Spark. So if you typed in Discovering Your Spark, all one word, you would be able to find the Facebook page. And I'm going to try to do weekly lives that give you journal tips on how to go through this process, because I think a lot of people are intimidated by a journal. You don't know what to write sometimes. You're like, do I write dear? How do I start writing?
Yeah.
You have to put words on paper. So my goal is to just give you that prompt to say, okay, like, just start here. Write this word, So that's really where we're at right now. The workbooks are only available through the workshop right now, but they are going to hopefully be available on the website that's being built. So there's more to come, I guess.
I know. I wanted a book, but I couldn't get a book, so that's why I'm asking. You have it to show, like, this is what it looks like. It's a really cute book.
I'll send you a book.
But I don't have a book. I know. I need a book, Brittany.
So on your Facebook page, do you offer, I'm thinking about some of the people who really want to participate in this, and it's it's an important thing.
And how to get it to the base.
Do you sit there and like offer a prompt on your Facebook page on, hey, here's something for today. Why don't you think about this? Is there stuff like that they can sit there and participate in your community?
Yes. So we're going to start actively engaging through Facebook. We're going to establish a group, like a Discovering Your Spark group that people can join. And the group is going to be kind of an accountability for you so that you can log in there. You can see lives that happen. You can see the prompts. You'll have daily motivation and encouragement, empowerment. And the goal is to just help you have the tools to really figure out what you want to be doing in your life and be able to say, you know what, there's no geographic location that's stopping me. There's no military status or lifestyle that's going to stop me. Like, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and I need to figure out how to do it. And so we're trying to create a community where you can get that information. And what I find is that if we can get you the foundation of knowing what you're passionate about, what your purpose is, then you are going to be more likely able to utilize all of the resources and services that exist in our military community because you're going to know what to look for. Mm-hmm. When you are not in a position to know what you want to be doing or who you are, it's very hard for you to know for what resource to look for. You don't know.
Right.
And so a lot of times I'll hear spouses say, well, there's no resource for that. And I'm like, yes, there is. There's so many resources. Mm-hmm. You just have to know what you're looking for.
To be able to find it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. And so I want to empower spouses to have that ability to know what resource or service they're looking for because they exist. And if they don't exist, then that's when we need to start something. That's when we need to grassroots effort and start something. But I also encourage my military spouses that I meet, if you are passionate about something and you want to get involved and it already exists, join forces with people who are already doing it. Let's make it stronger. Let's make that train go even faster and not create the same thing, the same product. So if there's already a mentoring group out there, we don't need another mentoring group. We need to support the mentoring group that's there and available for us. And we need to share our ideas so that we can grow that mentoring group. So that's what I encourage military spouses to do.
Yeah. Collaboration makes success.
Yes.
Stronger really together for everyone.
Strong.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I think that a lot of people feel sometimes intimidated. They don't want something like, I worked so hard to create this and I want you to take it away. And you got to turn that mindset around saying no one can take nothing. It's already yours.
Yes.
But you can make it better if you collaborate.
Which is
because everybody has a challenge
right now.
Yes, she is.
Collaboration
to be announced later. The announced later for herself. It's something that we've been saying you need to do. So all your speaking is like speaking right here to Leslie today.
Well, I'm proud of you guys for collaborating and doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need to collaborate because it makes the dream work.
Well, I think that's the one thing that Holly and I've realized on this journey that we're doing with Mimosas in the Morning is we have such a big, diverse community of military spouses who have so much to offer to each other. Mm-hmm. And I think by highlighting people like you, Brittany, who are really helping bring kind of a personal development really to people's lives. And, whether it be personal, professional, it's important. And we all have a role that we can do to help each other and just make things better.
What I think you've created is not just something where someone can go and make something. Everybody has that dream of making something. You've given them a kind of like a friend. That your tool is a friend. Yeah. And I think that's what's so hard, especially every time we PCS, trying to reconnect, trying to find who you are. But really, it's the people that you surround yourself around, helps that duty station really thrive and survive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what you've created is, and I'm gonna call it Holly's hugging tool, because I like to hug.
I know.
So now you're hugging everybody with the book.
Holly's the most joyous person I've ever met, and I always know I'm going to get like this genuine hug and love from Holly when I see her.
That's true. But what you're giving is that you're giving that tool, and by collaborating with the USO, who's already does so much for our community. But this is a personal, like spouses give back to the community. and allowing them to come. I want you to come here. We want you to come to McDeal.
I want
Listen
to come.
to us.
I want to come. You guys put in a request at your USO center. Put in a request for me to come.
I got that's my mission when I go to DC, right? Is to see how I can get you here.
And we can do an in-person interview.
I
We can all be together.
We'll do sparkles together.
Oh, goodness.
And sparkly eyeshadow.
I know.
I did not have on my sparkly eyeshadow today. I kind of missed out on that.
But you're doing fancy here. Look, she's showing a little skin.
I have on shorts too. I have to admit it. It's a lovely
Florida.
day.
It's a gorgeous day in Florida. So sorry, everyone, that this is not live on Military Home Base page. Technical difficulty. Brittany was having it, in Arkansas. We're having it here in Tampa. Beeline was not cooperating, but her internet wasn't cooperating at home. We will put this onto Military Home Base's page and share all over, because I want everyone to be able to message their base and get the USO involved and bring Brittany there. Absolutely. So that you have all these great love-ins and tools for success and how to, be involved within your community more personally and giving back, right? Of course. Yep. So we got to do our mimosas. Brittany's in the car.
Toast to you, Brittany.
I have one.
Yeah, she does look in your success, and wish you all the best and continuing to give and blessing you for everything
Thank
you
you
do.
guys. Thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And remember,
Congratulations. Armed Forces Insurance Marine Corps Spouse of the Year. Congratulations.
thank you, Brittany. It's still so real. I'm like, do I pinch myself? Pinch?
Watch out. This girl's on fire. She's on fire.
Girl on fire. I do love that song.
Oh, that is one of her songs. Watch out. She'll be playing it for us again here soon. So
Okay.
Thank you, Brittany. It's
Thank
very
you, Brittany.
kind. And remember that Military Home Base brings you home one base at a time, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Brittany.
have a great week.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.